Howdy y'all, Muglax Lives. I think it's time to play a little 7 Days to Die. Let's see. I don't know where I'm at. And I obviously have a full pack here, so I should probably figure out how to get out of this place and mosey on home. There we go. Why can't I see my... Oh, I don't want to track it. Oh, crap. Help me. I only got 6 hit points left. I was trying to do something. You guys are interfering with what I was trying to do. Go away. Go away. So, we'll see if I can wander back in slow motion here while I chit-chat a little bit. So we got to play D&D last night. We didn't get a whole lot done. We, I just... Well, I heard a zombie. Must be a crawler I didn't see. Somebody sounds really angry, but I don't see you. Oh, there you are. And it was a crawler. So here's the thing. D&D is a interesting concept for a game. Any tabletop RPG that plays like this, and so you got a set of rules that determine how you can interact with the world, but they don't tell you how to interact with the world. So what I mean by that is, like, I want to throw a rock at somebody. Well, there are rules that tell you what you have to do to throw a rock at somebody. But they don't tell me that I have to throw a rock at somebody, right? And those rules on how to throw a rock at somebody are probably the same rules that you would use to throw a knife at somebody. Or, a brick. Or a book. An egg. Whatever. A glass. So if you're going to throw something at somebody, chances are there are rules on how that happens. In D&D, the 5th edition that we play, those rules would be whether or not you were proficient in what you were throwing. So you might be proficient in throwing a dagger, but you're not necessarily proficient in throwing a chair, right? Um, and that's really about the only difference between them. And so it's like that, right? So there are rules on how you can interact with the world, but nothing tells you what to do in the world. And so to me, the idea is that you're in this world, and so your interactions would be like the real world ish. Right. And I mean, I don't have any magic powers like I do in the game, unfortunately. Um, and or maybe fortunately. Guess it depends on how things had played out. But so so last time we played, all right. So then I guess before we get to that, then the other thing that I often complain about is that we are playing a pre-generated campaign that's made by Wizards of the Coast, which is the company that makes D&D. And so uh, what this means is that what you're supposed to tell your players, what kind of monsters they're going to run into, um, things like that are partially done ahead of time for you. Maps that they're going to see, places they're going to go, people they might talk to. And so it's partially done ahead of time. Now, I find them to be um, the parts that are in there are usually written okay, but it's what they leave out that makes them poorly constructed, I guess, in my mind. And so um, a lot of bringing the adventures to life and making the adventures a cohesive story is in the hands of the DM. Now, here's the problem: is that is that DMs who are capable of making their own story, who decide to run a pre-generated campaign, are more than capable of changing what they don't like about a pre-generated campaign to fit their play style or their player's play style. Um, on the other hand, DMs, dungeon masters who run the game, um, who are incapable or unwilling to put in the extra effort to bring a campaign to life through the little things that are not written down, or to alter things that don't make any sense given what has happened, are not capable, are not willing to make those changes. So if there's nothing in the book for those types of DMs, they can't fill in the blanks. And I think it's the biggest problem with pre-generated campaigns is the fact that they leave a lot of stuff fill in the blanks. And I don't mean like there are blanks in the book. I mean there are just blank splotches where you'd think there should be something, or you think things should tie together, and they don't. And so, uh, so this is super disappointing to me. Is that I have not looked in the book about the city. I don't know what it says in the book. I can only tell you my experience with what went down with our DM. So, we're playing Dungeon of the Mad Mage. The adventure is about a dungeon that's like 16 floors or something like that, and each floor you basically go up a level. There must be more than 16 floors. I don't know. You start at level 5, so in the first 5 levels, I think you're supposed to basically get to level 10. And then after that, our DM told us that it slows down and you'll have to do 2 or 3 floors per level after that. And so I don't know how many floors are in the game. That's just what he said. I didn't read the, or in the adventure, not in the game, in the adventure. So, anyways, we're on floor 3, and uh, so before we enter the dungeon, and this is another thing that I despise, that happens a lot in these pre-made adventures, is that they give you information related to a quest that you can't do anything about until way later. And they're never good. Like, you don't get rewards for these quests. And so, like, very basic things that they're like you would want to do something about. I know we did Princes of the Apocalypse, and right at the beginning of Princess of the Apocalypse, we're told about this young farming couple who had just started their own farm, and now they're missing. Well, I would like to find out what happened to them. Um, and then we also found out about a miner who was mining nearby who hasn't returned from their mine. That is something that it sounds like we should do something about. Well, both of those people were kidnapped by end game things and placed in a prison that you can't get to until you're completely done with the adventure. So, what is the point of telling me about them at the beginning of the adventure? And then on top of that, you don't get a reward for rescuing them. It's not like they were. Uh, don't take me wrong, but they weren't important, right? They're not a missing prince that we're gonna take back to the king. It was a missing miner and a missing poor farming couple. We wanted to rescue them because they were in trouble and we were heroes. We probably played that for, I don't know, what, 8 months? We played through that campaign. And so it took us almost 8 months to find them. And at that point, I mean, what did it matter at that point? We didn't get to research them. We didn't get to rescue them. It didn't matter in the end. They just were in with another group of prisoners that we freed and sent out of the dungeon as we were working our way to the final battle with the evil. Right? I mean, I hate that. I hate it. Don't tell me about it. If I can't do something about it, don't tell me about it. Uh, if you're going to tell me about people who've gone missing, then chances are I want to go rescue them. And so if I can't rescue them and you don't have something that leads me through trying to rescue them, then don't mention them at all. And so, oh man, look at all the iron that's just out here on the ground. For my took out one block. Oh, I don't think I have. Do I have any food on me? I do, right here. Can of soup stock. So, so Dungeon of the Mad Mage. We work our way. We get down to floor 3. And, well, okay, I'm sorry. So at the beginning of the campaign, we're told 2 things. 2 quests. We need you to find a missing throne that's been gone for generations. We think it's in the dungeon somewhere. And the other was, my brother has gone missing in the dungeon. Please find him. I believe he's on the 3rd floor. All right. So we go through floor 1. We go through floor 2. We get to floor 3. We find this group of people who are basically at war with another group of people. Only by the time we got to them, we had already killed the group of people they were at war with. So you'd think that there might be some gratitude over what had happened. No, not with our DM. I don't know what the book says. I really don't know what the book says, but I do know that I feel like at that point we had taken out a whole group of people that they had been having problems with, and all we wanted was a straight up, non magical, useless ring. Uh, and the only reason we want it is because the sister of this dude would want it back since he's dead. And there was no budge, there was no discussion. There was just straight up refusal to turn over his trophy for taking down this guy. A blind old hobgoblin king whose area is one of the most heavily populated areas we've ever seen while playing with this DM. And he won't even let us roll persuasion or anything to see if we can persuade this guy to give up a ring that's not magical. I could understand if it was like super powerful or something, but it was not. It was non magical. It's the ring of a thief. And wouldn't do it. Would not give up this ring. Wouldn't even talk to us about giving up this ring. And I'm just like, ugh. I already know this is going to be super annoying. I already know it. And so we we go from there, and so his wife says, "Talk to me, and I will help you out." Or like, "Oh, all right." So the wife's gonna tell us how to get the ring. I'm just like, maybe we could just steal the ring at this point. Can I make farmland? Nitrate. I need some soil for that. Okay. And I don't have any points I can spend. No. Okay. Well, let's go grab some soil. I want to see about getting some farming started here. Probably knock down a tree while I'm at it. And so she tells us that maybe he had a dagger that let him see, and he's lost it. And so maybe if we can retrieve the dagger, then he'll give us the ring. And the dagger is supposed to be in the nearby town of Skullport. Uh, so we go to Skullport, and our DM is like, it's super dangerous there. There's all this stuff. You need to make sure you're disguised. Blah 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 blah. So we do all this stuff. We get disguised. I talked last time, I think, about our fight with him over his ridiculous you can't go because monsters will attack you. Crap that he pulls. And so we get to Skullport last time. And we had been, where did that even happen? I think we had gone back to our home base, which is in the city above the dungeon. And while we were there, we were given uh, we were. You know what? Now that I think about it, I don't know how that guy knew we were going to Skullport, but somehow this guy knew we were going to Skullport, and he um, wanted us to take this bag of gold down to a bartender who lived in the city. It's not a city, but in this Skullport, and so uh, so we did that, and and we went and talked to her. And here's where things go wrong with my DM. So we go talk to this bartender who helped out this group called the Harpers. I despise the fact that there are organizations in D&D like this. Like, I get why they should be there, but once again, what do you need? Rock. They only work if your DM is capable of playing them. And because they don't explicitly state in the books most of the time what these people know, our DM never allows them to do anything. And it drives me crazy. And so there's no point in us contacting the local Harper because they're not going to know anything. And so we go down, we talk to the bartender, we give her the money, and we ask, because we're new to Skull Keep and we don't know anything about it, what are some interesting places around here that might help us out? And he proceeds to give us a list of everything in the city, basically, it feels like, including where secret organizations have their bases. And so one of the things that we did find out was where the where the guys who took the dagger had gone, but unfortunately they've already left town. And I'm like, oh, it's gonna be one of those things. I hate these. And okay, I am looking for this. Yep, there we go. Get me some farm plots going here. What do I have for seeds? I've got some corn seed, some yucca seed, chrysanthemum seed. Oh, I don't need potatoes. Gotta get me some potatoes. Oh, there's some goldenrod seed. We'll definitely want some of that. I guess we'll want yucca as well, right? I use yucca for yucca juice. So, so she basically tells us where everything in town is. And then... Oop, that's not what I wanted to do. Huh. I thought that was going to fill that in. That definitely... Hey. Definitely did not fill that in. So that was last session. So this session we we start there, and so we head over to the guy who runs the bar where the Duergar, which are the people we're chasing with the dagger, were last seen in town, and apparently they have left town. And so we go to talk to that guy. And so I've got a bard, which means he's supposed to be good at talking, and he's got really high stats in talking to people. That's the whole real point of having a bard on the team. We got our fighter, we got our thief, we got our artificer, um, and so we go in the bar, and the dude's got like some kind of ghost and a couple of minotaur, and so he asks what we want, and so we're like, "Hey, we're trying to hunt down these guys who might have been in here," and I put a gold on the bar. Now, a gold is a lot of money in D&D. It doesn't seem like it necessarily. Oh, I didn't realize that was the whole floor. I thought it was just part of it. Interesting. I thought I was just taking down the railing. I didn't realize this was the whole thing here. Well, it's huh. So I need some kind of flooring in here. So yeah. So we try to talk to the guy, and he basically won't talk to us. And he refuses. He just straight up refuses to talk to us, and then he threatens us. And there's no way what he's got in this place can do anything to us. And so we're like, look, man, we're looking to buy a dagger off of them. And the dagger, of course, is a magic item, but I don't know if he knows that. And and so we're like, we're just looking to buy this dagger that we heard they had, and we're not really there. I don't really see anything in here that matches what I would need. Oh, to go on this floor. What is this one called? Resources. And this one is building. Where's all the other pieces? Well, how come I don't have like angles and stairs and stuff like that? Where'd all that stuff go? Do I need a point in something? I don't see anything in there. And so We give the guy more money. He still won't talk to us. Uh, and our DM is not letting us roll anything. We're not allowed to persuade him, intimidate him. We tried both of those like verbally, but he won't let us roll. So he just like, yeah, he refuses to say anything. I'm like, but this is the only guy we know who might know where those guys went. We know they went deeper into the mines. This is gonna drop my whole base right here. Let me tell you. But we need to talk to these guys, and so I don't even remember what started the guy attacking us, but the guy attacks us, right? And so that was it. We had to fight him. Our DM is like, these are really big, tough guys, and he's not afraid of you, uh, and and so the other guy who we're playing with, he's just like, fine. Then I draw my weapon. You draw your weapon? Did you hear me describe how powerful these guys were? And he's like, yeah, well, we need this information, and we're not apparently able to persuade him, or he won't take a bribe, and he hasn't suggested we exchange favors or something. So what are we supposed to do at this point? Because he's already threatened us twice that if we don't get out of his bar, he's going to throw us out. And so, yeah, I don't know what it says in the book about that guy. I didn't look, but it turned into a fight, and of course, once again, our DM can't estimate our power level, and we didn't even take any damage. And then, you know what the guy tells us? He put us through all that work for this information. I don't know exactly where they're headed, but I do know that they're headed to floor 6. That's it. That's the information he couldn't give us. We already knew they were headed deeper into the dungeon. Telling us floor 6 isn't going to help us because chances are we're going to clear our way through every floor before that. Because we have to go up a level before we go to the next floor, he said. So, what good does it do to withhold that information and make us fight? We didn't, and then we're like, there's nothing left in Skullport for us to even do. Nobody talked to us. We didn't get any quests to do things here. I just don't understand the point of us being in this dungeon. I was kind of excited when we started to be in this dungeon, but I also thought there'd be a point to the dungeon, and so far there's no point. No, like, I mean, this is just that's all we did last night was we tried to talk to this guy. He refused to talk to us. He threatened us. He ordered his guys to throw us out of the bar because he didn't want to tell us that they had a drink, and then they went deeper, and that was it. And so then our thief is a bit of a murder hobo, so he killed him, and we set the bar on fire and walked out. And then the DM's like, I'm gonna roll. I'm gonna roll. I'm gonna see. I'm gonna roll. I'm gonna see if somebody sees you. So I'm gonna roll, and he just kept saying he was gonna roll. And if I roll low, then someone sees you, and if I roll high, then you get away with it. And so then he says he rolls. He doesn't show us his rolls, and we're playing electronically, so wherever he does his rolls is no place we can see. And he says he rolled a 1, and so someone definitely saw us. And so I said, "Well, we already did the tattoos to make us match the most powerful gang in Skullport, and so I'm just gonna turn to him and say nobody messes with Xanathar, and continue walking, and we're just gonna walk out of town." And then he's like, "You guys scamper out of town?" I'm like, "No, that's not what I said. We saunter out of town like we own the place." As members of Xanathar Guild, or Xanathar, is it Guild? Xanathar's Guild? Must be. Would do. Uh, Stop trying to make my character act in ways different than I would. Your character would scamper, DM, because you're afraid of everything, every time I play a game with you. My characters are not afraid of anything in this town. As per, we just killed 2 Minotaurs and a ghost without them being able to damage us. So yeah, so that was our D&D last night. It was I like it's frustrating to me because we did all this work to get into this skull port. We were told there were 3 ways to get in there. One of them you can only enter if you have the right paperwork. The other one you have to go through the Xanathar base, and the last way was through these tunnels. So we went through the tunnels, and then we never spoke to anybody except the barkeep we were supposed to give money to, and the barkeep who was supposed to have information for us. And that was it. Like, there's a whole set of maps for this place. It's got 2 stories and our DM kept saying 3 stories, but I couldn't find anywhere where there were 3 stories. So it's got at least 2 stories and an island hideout for some bad guys. And our DM didn't use it at all because apparently in the book there's nothing written down for what's supposed to take place, for anything to take place there. And our only thing to do is to continue hunting these Duragar for a dagger so we can trade it for a knife to take back to this woman so she has a keepsake from her dead brother. It's not worth it. Like, it's not worth it. Our characters have a ton of money. It is not worth our this much effort to go get this woman a ring. We'll just go to the jeweler and have one made. Here's your brother's ring. The end. Um, it's an awful, awful quest. And our DM said it's actually a quest line, and it's going to continue leading from thing to thing. I'm like, oh, good. That makes me want to do it even less because because we've been given no information about it other than we're looking for this ring, and that guy's got it. So now I'm starting to doubt whether, like, maybe we should just turn around and go kill all the hobgoblins and get the ring because I feel like we could take them at this point. Yeah. All right, well, with that, be better than the small things, lean into the light, and I will talk to you later.